Today we have a special guest because she wanted to be in the video. I don't know why, but she figured she had to be here. But anyway, let's get to why we're here. As you can see by the aquarium behind me, we still have a lot of algae. Not the long, rather gross looking mat that was there before. So we have had some good results. The thick mat of algae is gone. The fibrous bits that were wafting in the breeze, they're gone as well. So we have had some positive results. But obviously, it did not clear it all out. We've got the back glass is completely covered in algae still, although I don't actually mind that because the fish pick at it from time to time as an additional food source. But might as well go over the bad things that occurred to this aquarium after switching to reverse osmosis. And that's not to say I'm going to stop using reverse osmosis. I am definitely going to continue using it because the improvements have outweighed the disadvantages. First of all, within the first couple of days, my anemone died. It just sort of melted away. I suspect I changed the parameters of the water a little too quickly. I was only doing 10% water change, but I was doing them daily at that point, just to get as much of a start on it as I could. The anemone just, like I said, it just sort of melted away. It was looking fine one day, and then the next day it was just a lump of gross at the bottom of in the sand of the aquarium. And was quite dead. I removed it quickly, and that was a chore in of itself because it fell apart as I tried to get it out of there, which was gross. When I started this, I had 6 snails. I'm down to 2. Again, probably the same reason, changing the water parameters too quickly at first. I lost an emerald crab, and you'll notice everything I'm listing is invertebrates. The 3 fish that were in there are still alive and doing good. In fact, they look much improved. They've got better color now. They are more active. And I think that part is really great and one of the reasons that I'm going to continue using the reverse osmosis water. If for no other reason, it really helps you start with a clean slate. You can add stuff to the water after you've done the reverse osmosis process. You can find essential elements, essential elements. Here's an example of what I use. This is Kent Marine. It's one of the few things that our local pet store has. That helps add stuff back to the water that the fish and invertebrates need. I also dose with calcium, also a Kent Marine product. But I've said the bad things, so let's go with the good ones now. Again, the fish look amazing. The clam, which is an invertebrate that I thought would be really affected by the quick change in water parameters, has not only survived, but it has thrived. I'll put some images of these up so you can have a look at what they look like. It's not the most beautiful clam. Some of the clams out there are awesome, have amazing blue colors. This one's mostly just a brown. But he's doing well. He's attached himself. I say he, it's a clam, I don't know. But he's attached himself to the rocks. I tried to move him once during this process and realized he was firmly attached and decided, okay, you can stay where you're at. But they've done well. The clam has in fact grown quite a bit since I first got it. So what could still be causing all this algae? There's a number of things. I noticed one of the things is the water flow through this system is not as fast as it could be. In fact, it's quite slow. The pump isn't on maximum at all. It's probably about halfway. But if you look at the return pump, the water coming, not the return pump, but the outgoing pump, the water going from the tank to the sump, it's basically just a trickle. and that is not a good thing. You want your water going through your filter much faster than that. That way your filter can't, I mean, if it's slow, it's not going to pull stuff out very quickly. It'll have more time to decompose. I have a protein skimmer in there. I clear it out pretty often. It's a good one. It's definitely rated for this size of a system, and it, let's, for example, when the anemone died and I checked the next day, there was a ton of stuff in that protein skimmer. So I think that's a sign that the protein skimmer is at least working as efficiently as it can. The water changes at this point I'm probably doing once every few days. That's actually quite a lot. That's only a 10% water change each time though. 5-gallon bucket for, let's see, that's a 40-gallon breeder tank. The sump down below is 20 gallons, but it's not fully filled. So about 50 gallons for the two total. Probably 50 or 55. So I'm doing about a 10% water change each time, and that's not a lot of water really. A lot of people do bigger changes than that. And yet I've got a lot of algae growth, so it's not as bad. I'm glad to say that it's not nearly as bad as it was. You can actually see the sand and the substrate, and the fish seem to dig it. So we'll continue doing that. I mean, even if it is a little extra work each time, doing a 5% water change every few days. Luckily, I have a sink just a few feet from where I'm sitting, and can easily access the water. That's also where I did the reverse osmosis process. So we'll continue going from here. First thing I'm gonna do is up the water flow and see if that helps. Right now, the sump consists of fiber filter, carbon. What is that other stuff called? Why can't I remember the name of the stuff? The sort of rocky, greenish stuff. Having a brain fart. It then goes into a refugium where I've got some chaeto that grows, and that stuff grows amazingly fast, although it's obviously not taking up all the nutrients that it should. There's also copepods and stuff in there for additional food for the fish. And then it goes into a chamber that has the protein skimmer and then the return pump. And there's probably more mechanical, I don't have a sock, one of those fiber socks on the incoming water pipe. So that would help eliminate larger things coming down. Obviously just did some water changings. That would help catch some of the larger particulates coming down from the overflow. And there's other things out there. One of the things that Bulk Reef Supply sells is this awesome thing that's got two rollers, and as the water comes down, it hits a fiber mat that is strung from these two rollers, and as it clogs up, the water rises, so then a little motor twists and you get a fresh pad in there, and it constantly is filtering out stuff. So, and like I said, I think filtration and the rate of water flow is probably now the next thing to tackle. So I will keep you up to date. I will go ahead and keep trying these things and let you know how they work out. This has always been a fascinating hobby to me. I've kept marine 40-gallon aquariums before and didn't have these problems, so I suspect it is all water related. So by that I mean stuff in the water, starting with the heavy mineralization of our pump water or our well water, and now just going on to other things. So seeing what we can filter out of there to continue improving the health of this tank. Thank you for watching.